Welcome to the Mad Panda podcast. This is Nate, along with my co-host Silas, and today we're gonna be diving deep into everything hip hop. You already know, so let's get it.
And like usual, if you like what you're hearing and watching, make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and we'll keep building this thing. So, I think today we decided to talk about posthumous albums. There's been some good ones, there's some bad ones. So I think we're going to try to go through kind of a mix of those.
Yeah,
I focus more on ones that I recognized and that I liked, so I didn't really focus as much on the bad ones. But
same. No, I kind of focus on the bad ones a little bit too. So a little bit on myself. So
I will say, looking at when I was looking at them, like the ones that I would have considered bad were probably more because I didn't like any of the artists. And they were more modern stuff. Like I think Pop Smoke.
Yeah, Pop Smoke was on
that
there.
one, and there was another one I can't think of. I don't know. Anyway, let's.
Want to start with me? Okay,
I'll let you go for it.
So I say probably the best posthumous album, and I don't know if it's just because I grew up with this album, or if it's just the wake of it just straight after the death of the artist. But it is Notorious B.I.G. Life After Death.
I knew you were. I figured yours was either going to be that one or Machiavelli.
Yes.
I figured that was going to be one of those two was going to be yours.
Yeah. But for me, the Life After Death, it passes the Machiavelli one. I'm not. I mean, I'm more of a Tupac fan, but that Life After Death album was just it. It was the album, and I'm glad he got to finish it. I believe they said he had to finish it before the death, because I think it was his release party before the album came out.
Yeah.
Because I think he died a couple of days before the album came out. So
yeah, the notes I had made was it was released 16 days after his murder.
Okay.
So yeah, it was done and ready to go.
Yeah, done and ready to go, and it was So just for that album being alone, I guess I don't know if that would be the first posthumous album, probably the biggest at that time.
I was trying to look back and I couldn't find a lot in the early days. Like there was that one, and then Tupac, Eazy-E's, I forget the name of it. Straight Off the Streets.
Oh, okay.
That was 96, so that was that. Well, I can't remember what year Life After Death came out.
I think it was 97, I believe.
97, okay.
So then, 97.
Straight, that would be the first one.
Yeah.
That I could find, yeah.
Yeah, but for this Notorious B.I.G. one, they had a slew of bangers on there. And my personal favorite, which I mean, can't y'all don't have to like it, but is Player Hater, by Notorious B.I.G., which some people kind of cringe on that song because Big is trying to sing and he's singing it. Don't get me wrong, it is bad. It is very bad. But I don't know, it's just me listening to it. I guess it's just I got used to it, and I just love I can sing that song with Raven too. But yeah, they also got other hits on there, of course, Hypnotize and that type stuff. But yeah, it's kind of solidified. It helped Big's legacy after his death. I mean, because I feel like he was 2 projects in. I think that was his second project.
I know, to still be considered in the top 5 of almost everybody's.
Yeah.
And to only have 2 albums under your belt.
Yeah. So I'm saying, so he definitely solidified that, and I believe that album right there, it was like what can I say? I don't want to say like it like helped him become bigger, but it was just more on the aspect of the people who didn't really, and especially during the East Coast West Coast thing going on too, like it gave people another chance to look into him. Like, okay, this is an artist that it's gonna live forever.
Yeah, like solidified what everybody already thought, I think. And it was like, because so many people come out with that sophomore slump.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was. I mean, at the time, I wasn't really paying him that much attention.
Mm-hmm.
If we talked before about, just not really following Bad Boy and that whole, and a lot of that New York stuff at that time, I wasn't really following. But I mean, that album came out and we were all listening to it. So.
Yeah, and it had pretty much everything on it. It had the more of the pop songs that it needed, and it had the real rhyme and stuff. And then, like I said, it had the joke stuff on there too. So. But just even the title of that album, "Life After Death," is
Yeah.
it had to be like surreal once it like kind of
And
came
part of me
out.
is like, did they change that like and not tell anybody right after the fact because it's too like
Too spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, what was the first one was
Ready to Die.
yeah, so
Yeah, so it's kind of
they
like playing
on
the
each
theme.
other. So
Yeah.
that's right. I don't think it was, but I've thought that before. Like, I wonder if they,
Yeah.
because we all know Diddy is
Yeah.
a marketing person. So if he'd seen the opportunity, he would have done it. I think. But,
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him.
Nah.
I'd say that. I wouldn't put it past him. But I think it was already solidified that was gonna be the name.
Well, I think it was 16 days. I think.
Yeah.
Those records have already been pressed up and stuff at that point. So yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what's yours right there?
I went with 5 from a Tribe Called Quest.
Okay.
And I actually picked 2 because his Quest last album, what was it? We Got It From Here. Thanks for your service.
Oh, okay. I never listened to that one. I still never checked it out.
It's a good album. The first 2 tracks, which are The Space Program and We the People, are my favorite on there.
Oh yeah.
But overall, it's a good album, and it came out. What did I make some notes on?
They in like 2016 or something like that. I remember seeing something like that.
Yeah, 2016, and it was 9 months after his death. So the album was, and it was primarily Tip and him that put it together. Mr. Muhammad was working on some other stuff.
Yeah.
So he didn't actually do as much on here.
Oh, okay.
So it's primarily them, and they knocked it out in like a few months or something like that in Tip's home studio. Yeah, and so it was pretty much done and came out. And for me, the one thing I remember when I first listened to it is that, because over the whole career of Quest, it was always like Tip was the top MC and Fife was just kind of struggling. And I thought that Fife did better on this album than Tip.
Okay.
I liked his performances. And that's a lot for me because I was never a huge Fife fan. Like I liked a few of the songs here and there, but I always preferred Tip.
Tip over.
And just when I listened to it, that's kind of the vibe I got. And I mean, it could be because I was being sentimental at the time or whatnot.
Yeah.
But still, and I haven't dug it out in a while, but I need to listen to it again. But it's a good album. So
okay.
I mean, it stands well with their. I think it's better than their previous one, which was the Love Movement, which I've never really liked that album that much. So I think this one is better than that one. Okay. Yeah. The second one I pulled up was his actual solo album, and this one didn't come out until like 6 years after. This thing came out in 22, so it's only a couple years old. And it was. So let me read some of the notes I found on it.
Okay.
So 6 years after his death in 2022, completed by DJ Roster Root, and he had stated that he used a lot of blueprints and clues that Five Dog had left behind in the form of notebooks that detail producers, featured guests, and liner notes that he wanted for the album. So he noted that it was all the way down to the engineer, the photographers, everybody involved had some connection with Fife. And even Muhammad, Al-Shade Muhammad mixed some of the tracks. So basically, this was one I think is a real posthumous album where it wasn't complete before death, and so he had to, the Roster Root, his DJ, took it. But what was cool was Fife had put all the notes down because he was already, they knew he was going to pass, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because he was in dialysis at that point.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I was reading when they were recording the Quest album, he was like flying back and forth from his home in Atlanta where he was doing dialysis, and then he'd fly and stay with Q-Tip for a few days and record as much as he could, and then he'd have to fly back for dialysis. And then,
he was committed, man.
Yeah, so I think putting all those notes together was good. So, yeah, again, it's a good album too. I was really happy with it when it came out. I thought it was a good, like a good point or a good like memory. Like it didn't tarnish his image or anything.
Okay,
it was a good like closing chapter on him. So
yeah.
So yeah, those were the first 2 main ones that I picked. Cause yeah, I was a big Quest fan. Always have been.
Yeah, that would Quest. Especially with Five Dog passing.
Yeah.
That really had to be.
Yeah, and that's what's
hard to listen to again. Especially.
Yeah, but it's cool that they did get because they had fallen out for a long time and hadn't done anything for a long time, and so for them to at least be able to get back together and put out one final album. Yeah. And this is when I think Jerobi actually raps on this one.
Oh yeah,
where he never really rapped on any of the other albums. He was more just kind of a hype man, and I don't even think he showed up on Low End Theory or Midnight Marauders, if I remember right.
I think Midnight Marauders.
Was he? Okay, I couldn't remember, but yeah, he was mostly just a hype man at concerts, and you'd hear his name all the time. But Like I know for like on the space program, the opening track, him and Tip kind of go back and forth at one point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's cool that they were able to squash their beef and put something out. You know,
Yeah.
at least one last one before he passed. So
Dang. Well, yeah, one for Five Dog. My next one is gonna have to be one that I really didn't enjoy too much. So, and that is XXX Tentacion's Skin. And there's nothing I can really say about that. I have to be real with you.
well, do you know? Was it? It wasn't done when he died, right? Like
no, and then you can hear it in the album too. Like you can hear like it's a lot of like unfinished like tracks and where it just seemed like he recorded it on the phone as like a reference stuff, and they just sent that out.
Quality was a little
so the quality wasn't there. The songs weren't half like pretty much all the way done. Then you get a Kanye verse on one of the songs that he didn't finish, and don't get me wrong, I like that one. I think it was called 1 Minute. And it's cool because it's a rage song, so he's just like screaming his lungs out, and that's a perfect fit for Kanye. However, I feel like I ain't gonna say it was out of nowhere, but just during X's career, no everybody was quiet. You know what I'm saying? And then when he died, it's like all these artists was like, oh man, I wish I could have worked with him and stuff like that. Including Kanye, was like, I wish I could have worked with him and like all this stuff like that.
So we kind of jumped on that bandwagon.
Yeah, so like boom, and then like the next thing you know, Kanye's on this, on his new album or like that, the Posthumous album.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say it was like a little distasteful because if Kanye was really a fan, okay, yeah, but
yeah. You never really know because they never really worked together. They hadn't worked together prior.
Yeah, no, never said nothing about nothing. So the only person that did say something that when X was alive was Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
And he said something off his first album, I believe. X had a album called 17, and Kendrick was like, I didn't replay this 5 times already or something like that. So,
okay.
So I mean, I know.
And did he show up on the album?
No, Kendrick didn't show up on. Kendrick didn't show up on anything. I think Kendrick actually wanted to work with him, like personally. So since once he passed, he couldn't. Kendrick was like, all right, I'm just leave that alone. But still, though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, for that album, I mean, I don't want to trash because I am an X fan, so I'm definitely don't want to like talk bad about his his legacy or anything like that. But that album was not a good. That wasn't a good send off. It was like I feel like they should have handled that better. They should at least try to like get some more people in. Oh, and I'll say more people in as like engineers and like
to really clean it up.
Yeah, clean it up and like try to like piece together the ideas, but it just feel like they was in a rush.
They wanted
to capitalize off his death
because he was in the news at that point, so to get something out there. Was that the last album, or have they tried to push more out from him?
I believe that was the last one. I believe that's the last album.
Okay.
I believe that was the last album. Yeah. So yeah, you got another one?
Yeah, I made a list. One I'll mention, I'll skip over, and that's what I mentioned earlier, was the Tupac, Machiavelli, Don Killuminati.
Yeah, Killuminati?
Yeah, Killuminati, yeah, sorry. Should know how to say that. Came out 2 months after his death. Apparently was completed, but according to somebody named Papa G from Death Row, the album was meant to be underground and wasn't really intended for release. So that was kind of, when I saw that, I was like, well, didn't stop. That guy was the director of public relations at Death Row, and knowing that didn't stop them from putting out that album. So,
yeah. So you said it was supposed to be just an underground thing.
Yeah, and that's all he said. I didn't find any more detail on what that meant, but he did say it was not intended for release. So it was maybe one that he was going to give out or like listen, like. Yeah, because I knew he recorded constantly.
Yeah. That was one thing about Tupac. His work ethic was stupendous.
For me, I was never a huge Tupac fan, and that album to me was decent, but it wasn't anything. I know a lot of people put it as one of his best. I've heard that.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm like, I don't think it's a stain on his record. It was a good. Yeah. It's a good record. The one thing I did think was funny though, as I was looking at this, is that was the first of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 posthumous albums plus a greatest hits album, and that was up to 2006. There may have been more since then. I don't know, but yeah. I mean,
I haven't really listened to anything after that.
Yeah.
After
yeah, and I don't know. And like I said, I'm not the biggest fan, so it's hard to judge any of that. But um, let's see, I had Biggie on here. The one I mentioned earlier, Easy Straight Off the Streets, that
Straight
came
Off
out
the
10
Streets.
months. It said it was maybe about halfway finished, and so Yella, DJ Yella from NWA,
Yeah.
helped complete it, cobbled together using leftover records and scraps of songs he had yet to complete. So I don't even remember listening to that album. I think at that point I had pretty much taken Ice Cube's side and wasn't really paying much attention. I mean, Easy was never a great MC to me to begin with. So I never really paid. I mean, Easy Does It was a good album, but he was never like somebody I really looked for.
I mean, yeah, I don't think Easy was for like no lyrical type stuff. He was just he was the entertainer. Yeah, that's what he was.
Yeah,
that's what we loved about Easy.
The next one, and I had listened to this album when it came out, and I hadn't really, and so I actually was listening to it this week, and that was a Big L, The Big Picture.
Oh, okay.
That is actually a hell of an album.
Yeah.
It was good. It was unfinished at the time and completed by his manager, and came out about 15 months afterwards. But I think, from what I understood, it was pretty well done. Like, it was just finishing up. Yeah. And it's funny because I remember listening to the album, but the song I know of him most is Ebonics.
Okay. Yeah.
And I guess in my mind I always just assumed that was from his first album.
But
it was from when I broke it out again this week. I was like, oh, wait a second, that is from, yeah. But yeah, I'd forgotten just how good that album is. It's a good classic New York hip hop album. He was such a talented MC too that very much missed. So.
I needed to go back and listen to that because I haven't heard that album in a long time.
Yeah, the one I usually listen to mostly is the Lifestyles of the Porn Dangerous, I think was the name of his first one.
Yeah.
That's such a good album, and like, yeah. But listening to it this week, I was like, yeah, that
was one of them.
Yeah, I need to like put that one back in my rotation. I'd forgotten just how good it was. Let's see.
They got for me, it'll probably another one is which this one got mixed reviews, which just more modern with the Pop Smoke one we mentioned earlier.
Didn't 50 Cent finish that up?
Yeah, well, I don't know if he finished. He had something to do with it.
Yeah,
but yeah, 50 Cent had a hand in it, and
now had they worked together before, or did he just jump in and?
No, I don't think they had been on the song before, but they was like
they were cool. Like they were.
They were cool. Like 50 was kind of like pseudo mentor to him in a way you could say.
Because I remember seeing that, and I was like thinking that's odd. I didn't but I hadn't really listened to Pop Smoke either, so I didn't have a lot. So it just seemed odd to me, but
but I mean, it was they got some songs on there where they definitely hit, and this one sounds finished, unlike the X one I was talking about earlier. But just I don't know, just personally for me, it wasn't like oh, you know what I'm saying, like But it was like it was a cool little thing just to add to his legacy. Like, okay, this is
So you don't think it tarnished it?
I don't think it really tarnished it. I mean, some people that I was hearing on there saying that this was trash, they shouldn't have put it out. But other people. That's why I say it comes with mixed reviews. So me, I personally, I thought it was just cool. I didn't think it was nothing special, but it was just another cool one that
it was good to have something else to listen to.
Yeah, that's what it was.
All right. The last one I had on my list here was The Shining by Jay Dilla.
Let me see. Okay.
Yeah, they said it was about 75% done when he passed. And Kareem Riggins? Yeah, he's a producer out of Detroit as well.
Okay.
He finished it up with his Ma Dukes, they call her.
Oh, Ma Dukes.
Dilla's mom, yeah. Mm-hmm. With her blessing.
Okay.
It helped everything, so he finished it up. And I know I have that album, but I have not listened to it in a long time.
Yeah.
But, I know he rhymes on that one, and I've never been a fan of him as an MC.
Yeah,
I like his production, but I've never been a big fan of his rapping. But I remember the beats being pretty dope on that one. So, yeah. But I don't have a lot more to say on that one.
Okay, yeah.
It's not on my list, and it's probably one you're about to bring up, but I'm guessing Mac Miller.
Definitely Mac Miller.
I knew you were going to bring that
Definitely.
one
You know, I'm saving him for last. You know
That's
what
what
I'm
I figured.
saying? Okay, so we got to talk about Mac Miller Circles. That was the first posthumous album. That released it 2 years after his death. And my first take on Circles, uh, was, I was like, this is a cool Mac Miller joint. Cause it was like a perfect send off, right?
Yep.
And, but it definitely wasn't like my favorite Mac Miller album. Or nothing
Now,
like
was that one that was done before he passed, or I'm guessing after 2 years, there was a lot of work put into it after?
Yeah, I believe it was pretty much done. It was supposed to be a complimentary album to the last album.
Okay.
So I believe it was pretty much done. It's just that his engineer or his I guess his engineer, I believe, had finished mixing up everything.
Okay.
And then finally just put it out. And I believe that the Mac Miller estate, everybody had a hand in it, talking about it. Let's see if this is the right thing to do for Mac and stuff like that. And wish that they have a beautiful way of handling his music after his death. And I wish all artists had that same care taken in their music, because Circles was definitely, it came out of left field though. I ain't gonna lie, cause like it was like kind of somber, not somber. It was just, it kind of like delves into like the introspective thing, and acceptance of this is where he is. And you get songs like Good Day, which means what he's saying, like that's a good day. Oh, good news. My bad. I'm lying. It's been a minute. Good news. Good news. He's pretty much saying good news is all they want to hear. But they don't like it when I'm drowning. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
And then you get other songs like Complicated. Like it's a slew of stuff in there where it's like a just jazzy, some kind of soft rock. I guess it gets into like soft rock and stuff like that. And it didn't hit me because I thought the album was, I thought it was good, and I thought it was a good send off from Mac. I thought it was a beautiful send off from Mac. But I was like, I'm probably never gonna listen to this album again. Until one day I was in bed and I had my headphones on, and then I fell asleep, and then that album came through and it played through, and oh my god, that was a different experience. That was a different experience. Yeah. So listen to Circles if you go to sleep. That is a different experience, man.
So where would you put it in his catalog?
Okay, so we got Kids. For me, it'd probably be third.
Really? Okay.
Third. I think his best album for me is Swimming. And that was his last album
before he passed.
Right.
So this was the follow up to that one?
Yeah, because it was supposed to be Swimming in Circles. So, that was kind of like a thing. So that's why I said it was a complimentary album to that one. So, because he's saying pretty much that, when because Swimming was all about how he's going through the bullshit, and how he keeps diving in and out of addiction, and and that he kind of just swimming through all the hate and negativity about it and stuff like that, and all the emotions that he's having. And then Circles pretty much how he's swimming right back to the same point. So it's kind of
keeps going through the same.
Yeah, Circles was kind of like he going right back to the same point of he's swimming in circles. So I don't know if I explained that right, but that's.
I know after his death, they also came out recently. We talked about it a few weeks ago. Was Balloonerism? Yeah, was there other, or is that the only two posthumous?
That was the only two posthumous albums. And Balloonerism, I love again. And with Balloonerism, we get the younger Mac again. You know what I'm saying? Because that was actually supposed to be released in 2014.
Right. So it was
2015.
A little like dated, I guess.
But. Yeah, but I mean,
it was pretty good. I actually like some of that stuff.
So. Yeah, and it still sounded like it could have been released today.
Yeah.
And especially like with $5 Pony Ride, Stone, Mrs. That Were Down There, and all that type of stuff. Those are songs where I think they can highlight Mac's ability to really, I guess, his wordplay and his emotions. Because, like I said, he's not like a lyrical spitter. He's not nothing like. But when he does speak, and he does it, like it's kind of like what I can say.
Right?
Yeah, it's depth and it's concise. So it's kind of like it's very like I think in Swimming he was like no, was it Swimming? Yeah. Well, it's like some lyrics that he can put on you, where it's not that like where you gotta like look for double entendres or something like that, but it hits hard. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I know what you're saying. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's like it's not confusing or it's just straightforward, but also with some meaning to it, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I'm trying to say, and that's kind of how Mac was too. And RP man, RP to Mac man.
Yeah.
We lost a loving soul because especially with everybody who talked about him and everybody he worked
Yeah.
with, it was all
Yeah, you don't ever hear anything bad about him. So,
yeah.
other than he was an addict, right? But
Yeah, that was it.
other than that, it sounds like he was actually a pretty good guy. So
Yeah,
and I would say that shout out to everyone that we've talked about today. Like rest in peace to all of them.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean Fife was one that still gets me because big Quest fan. But
What about I mean, I don't know if this is called posthumous or not, but I know you said that Dave from De La Soul, right?
Yeah, but they haven't put anything out yet, but they're supposed to. So I'm curious how much they have with him on it, and if they will put it out, like how. So they keep talking about it, and they were supposedly working with Pete Rock and Premiere and various other people on different projects.
Oh, okay.
So and they've said I think that there's stuff coming, but yeah, it remains to be seen. But I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it'll be done right with them too. It's not like,
Yeah, they just
yeah, it's not just a money grab. I mean, they'll actually put out a good project, I'm sure. So something that he would be proud of. I was trying to think too, like Shock G was one that got me, and I don't think they ever put anything out. There was actually a record, and I haven't heard of it. It was him basically playing piano because he was actually a really talented piano player.
Really?
And so it's like a jazz piano album, like just him on piano, no other instruments, from what I understand.
He got a whole album playing the piano.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew he played piano, but I didn't know he was like.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
exceptional
But,
in it.
so I guess that would be a posthumous one, but I haven't. I've been trying to find it, and last time I saw it was a couple $100, I think, for the blue vinyl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Mr. Humpty, huh?
yeah, but it's supposed to be really good. I haven't even, I was thinking about like trying to download it or something like that, but I'd rather actually get the record and put it on to hear it. I think that would sound really good.
Way
so
better.
I guess that's technically a posthumous album. I was trying to think of anybody.
Well, I got an honorable mention. I mean, he definitely won't have an album after his death, but this album kind of blew up after his death. I could say. What's Nipsey Hussle?
Yeah.
Victory Lap, and Nipsey Hussle was always in the. They're one of the underground DIYs, kings of this.
Yeah.
So
I do remember there was some comedian, and he was like, nobody was talking about Nipsey before he died, and now everybody.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, it's kind of true because I knew the name and I'd seen it and I'd heard a little bit of his stuff, but then all of a sudden it was like everybody was talking about him, which I mean is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think some of his people just trying to jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah, it was a bandwagon. Because I was listening to Nipsey a little beforehand. I wasn't a big Nipsey fan like that, but I would check out his mixtapes like "Bullet Has No Name" and stuff like that. And I had songs here and there, but that Victory Lap, because when he dropped that album, I was listening to that heavy.
Yeah.
I was listening to that heavy, and then when he passed, that's where I started hearing it everywhere else, and it was kind of like I think about a year after. About a year after. Cause I remember where I was when I heard that he passed away. I was getting my hair cut, and it was like, cause at first what happened was it was like, oh man, they said somebody in Nipsey's camp got shot. I was like, oh man, hopefully it wasn't Nip. And then it's like 30 minutes or an hour later, it was like, oh, it was Nip. Oh man. So yeah, man, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, Nipsey inspired but he lived and breathed the hustle. I mean, it was in his name. You know what I'm saying? Like he was hustling.
He was like after the fact, he started hearing about all the stuff that he was doing for the community and things like that, which was really cool.
Yeah,
like putting everything back into it and like his businesses and actually, unfortunately, I think it was somebody that was working for him that got him, right?
Yeah, there was somebody in his his own gang, the 60 Scripts, that killed him. But I really don't want to get in on all that.
No, I don't want to end it on a downer, right?
But I do want to say that when Nipsey did pass, I don't know if it's because like I said, he been doing the stuff in his community and stuff like that. It's just that when he did pass, it just like brought a bigger light to it.
Yeah. So then I don't think he was one of those that put it out there.
No, he definitely he definitely one of the ones that put it out there.
That's where you started hearing it from other people talking about the things he did, and that's That's commendable. You know.
Yeah, and then him and his brother Black Sam, you
Yeah.
know, especially keeping that, we don't really get a lot of good, like, how can I say, like, team, because they showed that it could just be you and your brother, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
You and
okay.
your brother,
Yeah.
like, coming up, you don't need no outside forces, pretty much. I mean, they had people helping them, but it was mainly just them doing all the legwork on
Okay.
everything. So, yeah, raise, respect. I mean, I guess in a way, it's the last thing I'm saying. I guess in a way that he keeping his store alive. Black Sam's keeping the marathon store
Okay.
up and running. So I mean, it's not a posthumous album or nothing like that, but I guess the
His
legacy,
memories out there.
yeah, his legacy is in his clothing line.
Legacy,
Still,
yeah.
still going
Cool.
on. So yeah, is there anybody else you got?
No, I'm sure there's some other ones out there, but those
Yeah.
are the main ones that I could think of. I think they said like Left Eye. They dropped an album of hers after she passed, like her solo album.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I ever listened to that. And there was a couple other that I didn't recognize most of the names. So, but
yeah, there's probably some ones I'm probably forgetting too as well.
But yeah,
I'm probably gonna slap myself later.
Yeah, I think for me, Fife was the one that was that one.
The big one.
Yeah. So, do you want to do our top 5 or do you want to do a recommendation first?
Let's do a recommendation.
Right.
Top 5 be going to like.
I know, yeah.
So you want to go first, or you?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm gonna hold this guy up here. This is a record I've been listening to a lot recently. It's a German hip hop group, and it's Retrogott and Nepomuk.
Nepomuk, I guess it was this.
Yeah, and it's called Das Neue Sortiment. Yeah, my 1 year German 30 years ago in high school is not helping me here. So, but they rap all in German, but it's really, the beats are really like soulful, jazzy, low, like kind of, just a good vibe to them. Pretty mellow.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't quite call it lo-fi like that style, but it's just a good jazzy.
Yeah, you got some nice jazz.
And the rapping, even though it's in German, I know German can come off as a harsh language, but on here it sounds really good.
Smooth.
I have no clue what they're saying. Probably need to maybe look into that. Hopefully it's nothing terrible. I don't know.
All right.
But I also kind of like the artwork. I think you pointed out. It's like those cheap popsicles you get from the ice cream man with the super hard old bubblegum nose and stuff. In fact, they got Tweety Bird on here and Bunny one, and
that's why I said that's what drew me to the album cover. I was like, what is this?
It's kind of, it's not your typical hip hop record cover. It's more like kind of some silly, like, kids music.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it's really so good. And if you, sorry, I thought I had that on vibrate. If you can find it on vinyl, it comes with the full album. It comes with a second disc with all the instrumentals and a bonus 7-inch with like 6 extra instrumentals. So I would definitely check that out.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing, I am going to throw one album out there that is not hip hop, not even remotely in the hip hop realm.
What you got?
It's a black metal band called Deaf Heaven.
Oh yeah.
And they just put out their album called Lonely People in Power. And if you're a fan of like progressive black metal, you should definitely check that album out. They're one of my favorite bands to begin with, anyway. But this might be their best album. I don't know. And this is like their 5th album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but so just I know this is a hip hop podcast and all, but hopefully there's a few of you out there that like some metal, and that's a good one to go with. So. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. You got 2 recommendations in.
Just do one out.
Yeah. Okay, my recommendation is No Dope on Sundays by Sci-Hi the Prince. Yes, that album is okay, let me get a little back.
Is he the one that you told me is like over your head a lot?
Yeah. With some Sci-Hi stuff, it flies over my head. I don't really get, but he is an incredible MC. His pen game is incredible. It's nice. And it's hidden. That's what I can say too, because a lot of your favorite artists he is writing for. You know what I'm saying? But the truth, he wrote for a lot of Kanye stuff. Earlier stuff too. And he wrote for Travis Scott. I think he did Travis Scott Sicko Mode, which that's one of Travis Scott's biggest songs.
Wow.
So he's somebody you should check out. And Sci-Hi the Prince, No Dope on Sundays. is pretty much has this like church, not churchy like vibe to it, but it's pretty much just saying that um you can do what you need to do, but when Sunday come, we all need to, what I'm saying? You need to clean your hands and you feel me, pray to the Lord.
Yeah.
We all need that one day where everything just need to stop. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So and that's pretty much what the album is trying to say. Like the songs that he got on there is called '80s Baby, and that was just a beautiful, especially because the way he writes is incredible. So he's telling the story of him through his eyes of like when he's in his mom's belly,
Okay.
and like it's like one line he's like he don't even know I'm his son. I don't even know how many different drugs that I'm on because his mom was taking like stuff like that. Yeah,
Wow.
and you got Sadell Young. I think Sadell Young's on that project. Sadell Young. They film me in Belgium, and when I die, I go back to the heavens I fell from. So like so I was killing it, man. And I think was it Trick Me Off the Streets was on that joint too. Um, which was 2 Chainz. I don't know if you might like that one or not because that's kind of more of the
Yeah, I'm not a 2 Chainz fan. So.
yeah, and that spot, but he do got some. This is a second part to that song where he just going in, man, and it's like I think one of the last lines, and it just gives me shivers every time I hear. He was like, you got so what? Cause they try to turn Kane to a menace to society, so Craig don't let Smokey get you smoked on Friday, and it was like, man, it was like, woo, that voice is nice with it. So,
I'll check it out. I know you've mentioned him a few times to me, and I need to. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, like some of the stuff go over my head, and some I just don't get. But that don't discredit none of the stuff that he does, and like he's still an incredible MC and stuff like that. And yeah, so check out No Dope on Sundays by Sci the Prince. That's one. That's mine.
All right. And we're gonna do our top 5.
Top 5. What we got?
They're all kind of stuff together. There. Top 5 songs about cars.
Cars. Okay. Well, one. I'm gonna give you some Big Crit, Time Machine. Got you. Hello. These might all be Big Crit songs.
What's time machine? Is the car his time machine?
Yeah, the car is Time Machine.
Okay.
So it's like, in my time machine, yeah, I'm riding clean. Candy coated green. It's pretty much talking about his car. You know what I'm saying? So,
the first one that popped up to me was Cool G Rap and DJ Polo, Cars.
Oh yeah.
Off Road to the Riches, first album. Yeah, it just talks about, I can't remember the lines, but it's just different cars.
Different cars that they got and stuff like that.
It's a cool song. Yeah. Let's see. Six Tray by Freestyle Fellowship.
6 Tray.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's more-
Okay,
that's
6-3. Okay.
Where they that one was more like almost a G-Funk kind of, or like a West Coast gangster rap song, but the way Freestyle Fellowship would do it.
Yeah.
So
okay.
kind of more down to it. And I think that was a solo one by Peace on that album. I think it was just him. Either him or Jupiter, I can't remember for sure. But yeah, just rolling in my 6 Tray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give another one. I'm trying to divert from Big Crit for right now, cause I got some ones. Crit got some ones. All right.
You know, it has been a while since you brought it Big Crit, so you're like.
But I'm gonna give this one to Eazy-E, Switches.
Yeah.
That's basically about his low rider.
Yeah.
When I hit that switch, I'm bouncing, more bounce to the ounce, I'm clowning. So yeah, Switches. Hopefully it's not an obvious one I'm forgetting right now.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure we're both forgetting. I mean, there's some like it's not specifically about his car, but like I always think of It Was a Good Day, because a lot of the video is him driving around,
in his car,
6'4",
yeah.
and then even like Boys in the Hood, because he's rolling in my 6'4".
Boys in the Hood, it's hard. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. He crashes
it,
and
throw it in the gutter and go get another.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily about the car, but they're definitely brought up.
Well, oh, go ahead.
Master Ace,
Master.
G-Pass.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Basically all about his Jeep, even Born to Roll.
Born to Real.
Yeah,
The same
it's
song.
all. Yeah, I think yeah. One
It's
was
different beat or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah,
Born to
basically
Roll.
just about their cars rolling around.
Mm-hmm. Okay, another quick one for you. I already said Time Machine, right?
Yeah.
Rotation. Yeah, that one right there. Rotating my tires, you know what I'm saying? That's another one.
Gucci Crew, Trues and Vows.
Oh, okay. Yeah, choosing one. Okay.
The rims, right? Yeah.
They call me Gucci.
Sally, that girl.
Yeah, right.
That's the only line I know by him, by Gucci. I love that song though too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Public Enemy. My 98. Oh,
Okay.
as old as 98.
Okay.
I can hear the song. It's got the squealing. It's bam, my 98. I can, and then it's not about it, but in later on in Welcome to the Terror Dome, he says something about my 98 was years ago. Now I'm rolling in a Bronco or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. So.
Yep, you did. Yep.
Yeah.
Just like
I
that.
don't remember the exact line. I know it's something about 98 and then rolling in a Bronco. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't put verses about cars because
there's
billions of those. But,
yeah.
Which most is what I'm coming up with here.
Let me see. I mean, I'm trying to really divert from Crit, but Crit is just like popping up on my mind right now. Okay, I'm gonna go get you another one then. 86. You know what I'm saying? Talking about his 86 Cadillac. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
by Crit too?
Yeah, it's by Crit as well. Like I said, most of these gonna be Crit. Big Crit. What's this, like 3 for me? 4 for me right now?
I don't know. You know we never keep track.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting another one then. Another one from Crit. Lack. Cadillactica. I mean, it's off the Cadillactica, but talking about his Cadillac as well.
Yeah.
Lack.
I mean, is that whole album?
Cadillactica is the album, but
is that all about his Cadillac?
No. It delves into other things, but Lack is the song that which is a great song, especially at night. It's a great riding song tonight, nighttime, and it got ASAP Ferg on it. So yeah, I said everybody check that one out too.
Here's one I can't believe I forgot. This is an absolute classic.
What's up?
My Hoopty by Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Ah, okay. Sir Mix-a-Lot.
And this is another classic. Actually, I'm surprised you didn't bring this one up. Two Dope Boys in a Cadillac.
Two Dope Boys.
Yeah, that's actually probably one of my favorite songs by them.
Jesus.
So, The Booming System by LL Cool J.
I don't remember that one.
The Booming System. Yeah. In fact, I think part of that samples Cars from Cool G Rap, if I remember right.
Okay.
I don't remember this song, but Lowrider by Cypress Hill. I mean, Lowrider's been sampled a lot, but
I vaguely remember it. I mean, I remember it's in my head.
This is a good one, actually. Officer by the Far Side, where they talk about their beat up old cars. They get pulled over and they got no registration. And
no, I don't remember that one.
That's a good song. And then that actually reminds me, there's a song from Leaders of the New Schools album called Sob Story.
Oh, yeah?
It's all about, like, having a crappy ride or having no car.
Yeah.
And just,
oh,
so
okay.
That's all about that. So,
yeah.
Let's see. Did you say Me and My Old School by Big Crit?
No, that's another one right there. Hello. Got you. Me and My Old School.
Lost Boys, Jeeps, Lex Coupes, Beamers, and Benz. I remember that song good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This isn't a song, but an album.
Which one?
Just came out.
Recently?
Yep.
Who?
Kendrick, dude.
Oh, GNX. Oh, okay, GNX. All right, yeah. Yeah, I forgot totally about that. GNX. And he got a song in there called GNX.
Yeah.
So again.
I'd forgotten this one. You Saw My Blinker by DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince about them getting in an accident.
Oh,
and I would even also put on Parents Just Doesn't Understand, because one of the verses is all about taking his dad's Porsche out.
Yeah. Okay.
So you could put that one on there. I've never heard this. I don't care ever to, but you probably know it. Purple Lamborghini.
Purple Lamborghini. I don't remember that.
Cross.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No.
I have no idea what song this is, but it's by E40 called Mustard and Mayonnaise. Apparently it's about a car, though.
Oh my god, what you call it? That just made me think of then who sings that song? Inside peanut butter, outside jelly, 7 different Reeks, 7 different Chevys. What y'all know what I'm talking about. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the artist, but the group. But dang, yeah, that song, yeah.
Waka Flocka Flame, BMW.
Okay, I wouldn't put that up there, but I mean,
I know, I'm just reading some of these ones. Oh, this one you should know. Slim Thug featuring Paul Wall.
oh, sitting
Top drop.
Oh, top drop.
Yeah.
No, sitting sideways too. Sitting sideways.
Okay.
That's another one going on there. Paul Wall. Yeah, sitting sideways.
You're gonna get yours. That's the Public Enemy song. You're gonna get yours. That's all about is 98.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Yeah. Exhibit front to back. I don't remember that, but it's obviously he would have one because he used to host that Pimp My Ride show. So
yeah. I'm surprised he ain't got more. Like Creek.
DJ Quick with Nate Dogg, Black Mercedes.
Oh, I heard it once, but don't remember how it goes. Maybe more than one.
According to this is an article from Complex Magazine. High Plains Drifter by Beastie Boys is about a car.
Oh, really?
I don't remember. I guess they drive recklessly, ruining property, and committing multiple robberies. Coolio's Fantastic Voyage, was that about a car?
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I remember the song, but I don't remember thinking it. They got the Master Ace one here I mentioned. Mm-hmm. Sob Story by Leaders in New School, that's on here.
Mm-hmm.
And Officer by Farside. Was 99 Problems about a car?
Nah, I mean, I guess he had a verse where he talking about, he get pulled over.
Yeah.
By the cops, you know what I'm saying? And he know his rights and stuff like that, but I mean.
You know he took that song from Ice-T, right?
99 Problems?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Look it up.
Really?
Look it up. 50 Cent Get in My Car.
Oh,
sorry.
Snap. Yes. I got no pickup lines. I stay on my grind. I tell it all the time. It get in my car. Yo, boy, what?
Cool J, back of my Jeep. Backseat of my Jeep.
Backseat of the Jeep.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think that's about a car. It's about what's happening in the back of the car.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts. UGK.
Oh, okay. Ride Dirty.
F My Car.
Oh, that's my car.
Yeah. Sitting on Chrome again. Sitting in My Car by Slick Rick. I don't remember that one.
Me neither.
Right. This is another one I wouldn't necessarily consider specifically about my car, but it's basically about a road trip, and it's I Left My Wallet in El Segundo by Tribe Called Quest. It's a great song, but I don't necessarily think it's about a car.
Definitely not about a car. I mean
they pick a car on their road
yeah.
trip, but yeah, that has more to do with the trip itself.
Yeah.
And according to this was an obvious one, I guess.
What is it?
Let Me Ride.
Let Me Ride. Yes.
Although the chorus is more about the spaceship coming down, P-Funk coming down, Let Me Ride. So
Funkadelic.
What's the chorus say? Was it?
Swing
Sweet
down,
Chariot,
Sweet Chariot, stop.
Yeah.
Let me ride. Yeah.
So I don't know if I would call that a car one.
I still would, just because the way Drake flipped it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna still call that one.
I mean, it was more about the mothership, though.
Yeah.
All right.
But that was a top 60 right there.
We may need to come up with a no phone rule on our top 5, because then we end up with a lot. So
yeah.
Anyway.
But I gave my top 5 mainly was crit songs, because that's mainly what I be jamming to in the car.
But I would put my top 5 would be like Sob Story, My Hoopty, Two Dope Boys in a Cadillac. You're Gonna Get Yours, the Public Enemy one.
Yeah.
About his 98. And Sitting on Chrome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, mine's probably had to be no Pacific order.
Mine was no specific order either.
Me and my old school. Subbenstein, Part 4.
That's a good one.
By Crit.
Yeah.
Let me see. and Rotation, Time Machine, and 86. No, like I switched like for 86. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So that'd probably be mine. All crit, by the way.
All right, so I think you met your big crit quota for the next podcast. I gave you a little leeway, but you went overboard, man.
Yeah, crit taking over, all right. Boy needs some more respect on his name.
I mean, I've tried to back off from Daylaw, although we did bring up Dave today, so
yeah, it's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good. But yeah, honorable mention though will be sitting sideways with Paul Wall, so I won't put that on there as well. But yeah, that was it right there for me.
Yeah, that's it for me too. So thanks everybody for joining in again. Please like and share, get this out there, tell your friends. Let them know that they're missing the greatest podcast in the history of all of hip hop.
All of hip hop.
Spread the word. See if we can break 33. I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, 33. Yeah, 33 subs. Yeah.
So just get it out there and help us out and keep us growing.
All right.
Thanks everybody.
All right.